Flat Earth British, Martin speaking. Welcome people on the 19th of the 9th 2018, or so they say. Epic of you to join me, so grateful, thank you. Please, before I get underway, subscribe to my channel, come back. This is chapter 1 of the greatest story never told. Okay, now the first part is going to be in maybe 3 chapters. I'll see how this one goes for time. And it's an unraveling. Okay, there's a story along with it. It's our real heritage, this place, our flat and static motionless plane, which is in fact a reset system. Okay, and we're going to look into the controllers and their coding and what they know, which has been picked apart. Okay, now, before I get underway, okay, I want to give you all a big thank you for all of your support and everything else. Okay, so what I want you to do is go off, make a cup of coffee, make a nice big cup of coffee, relax, come back, okay, sit down, chill out, and try and absorb what I'm going to tell you. Okay, in episode 1 or chapter 1 of the greatest story never told, the ancient fasces. Do you know what a fasce is? Well, we're going to look into the fasces, the Roman fasces, but it's not Roman, it far precedes that. Okay, an implement, a device, which turns out could possibly be the most important portable device in history. Okay, buckle in people. If you're new to my channel, it's going to be maybe baffling, or maybe not. For you guys who have already been here on the journey, you're going to love this. Alright, and the rest of the week is going to be amazing. So we'll do, I think I'll do 2 or 3 chapters, and then I'm going to do a nice little summarization, a nice synopsis at the end, hopefully on a weekend, but I don't think so, because I've got a show Friday, Karen's Sun and Moon group, not last Friday, this Friday coming. I'll put a link in the descriptions box. You'll be able to see me over there. I'm having a talk on Karen's Sun and Moon Family United channel Friday. I've also got an email from UAP channel, okay, who is fucking epic in America land, who I'm going to have a hangout with. I'm going to be chowing down with on here and getting us some information. Okay, but we'll see how that goes, because he wants Friday night and I'm already live. But it's going to come this weekend, so look forward to that, guys. UAP? I know. So I'm a big fan, so that's going to be brilliant. The guy knows his stuff. So we're going to look into the fasces. Okay, now this thing has been there all my life. I used to work on archaeological digs. I've worked on Roman works. I used to work for Cadw, Welsh Monuments, as a stonemason's assistant. Okay, but after a while I was a stonemason myself, but I wasn't paid stonemason's wages, by the way. But I got to work on Roman, apparent Roman then, buildings. I've worked on an amphitheatre in Cairo, Leon, Roman baths, and we actually built the baths entrance, and they told us, Cadw, to come and take them down, they look too good, so we had to take it down. First time my work has ever been taken down. And we had to rebuild it, but it was extra months free work, so it was excellent. But I worked on Cairo Leon, and amphitheatres and all sorts. I've got a feel, but I have been to museums, Roman museums, and Rome itself, Colosseum, etc. And this fasces, this thing that is a symbol for one of the greatest symbols in humanity, people. It really is. And you've missed it? Maybe not. It's on par with the swastika. In fact, the fascists use it as Mussolini used this, and Napoleon, for their emblems. Also Adolf Hitler. It is the emblem for fascism. Fascism is taken from the word, or derives from the fasc, for centralized control, complete control from them, from Caesars, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to look into it, the fasc. Okay, chapter 1. Okay, this is going to get crazy. Enjoy, people, enjoy. So we're going to look into it. We're going to get you familiar with a fasc, and I'm going to hit you up what I think this thing is. coding. I'm always picking apart coding, and something that's bothered me all the way along is the knight, the empty knight, or the Roman soldier's uniform is empty. Please take note of this little fellow with something that looks like it's blocking his ears. Well, what you really to look at is this implement here. It's a load of rods tied, and it looks like an axe in the top. So it's not a carrier for an axe, because these are a solid tube of tubes. Okay, we're going to go into it now on the theology, what they say is behind it, but they don't know anything, as you know. Everywhere, it's used everywhere. You would believe it. It's in the House of Congress. The fascists use it, and the other fascists use it in the House of Congress. It's either side of them. The Masons use it. It is tied in with the eagle of control. Here we go. The Fasces is beside the US flag, House of Chamber in the Capitol building here, as you can see. It's very, very significant. It's not just a symbol. It's more than a symbol. You have them laying vertically, horizontally. And here's one in the Oval Office, JFK and kids. And here is one over the door. Alright? So, they're everywhere. They're on so many coins, it's unbelievable. So this is what they are. It's a load of sticks, but not. You can see here they're tied with what looks like a wire, and they are tubes. Okay, they are tubes. Now I'll show you what they look like now shortly. So associated with them are batons and field marshal batons. We'll get to that in this post. So here they are, the Roman Fasces, or Fasces, is on either side of Honest Abe's chair. Who knew, guys? Who knew? Either side of the Fasces. Did you know that? It's everywhere. Now I've told you. Oh boy, you're going to see it everywhere. So, a memorial, Gettysburg, for the Gettysburg Address Memorial. And you got Honest Abe again. Not so honest. And the Fasces either side. Okay, we're going to look into what they say. Now, the narrative is bullshit. You do not take an entire regiment into battle, and mind you, these things leave a city looking like dust when they come away. I'll show you in a minute. The idea is one stick can be snapped. A bunch of sticks is tough. So it's together we're tough. One stick. You get it? So that is the analogy. It's bullshit, because these things are made of copper and brass. I'll show you shortly. They are everywhere. They're on all civic buildings, and they're interlaced with pretty much Brooklyn School. She's carrying one over her shoulder. Buildings as well, either side here. Look, it's just San Francisco Kite Tower. It's everywhere. Now I've showed you. You're going to see it everywhere. Okay, one there. Now they come in different sizes. You get the big, huge ones, like big enough for giants to carry, and you get the portable devices. Okay, now they're not a quiver for arrows, and they're not a quiver for an axe. They are solid tubes together. What can they be for? Are they Gatling guns? Are they a cannon? Okay, well, we'll look into it now, and we'll see what you think. Okay, there's depictions, beautiful depictions, paintings, beautiful paintings. We'll look at a few of these along the way, and as you can see, the Fasces, or the Fasces, is the main feature, as it is with a lot of ancient depictions I'm now noticing. Is it the Masonic pillars? Well, I think pillars are an analogy for the Fasces. I think that the grooves in the pillar are paying homage to this device, is what I believe it is, a device. And the empty knight, where could he have been? Where could he be, the empty knight? Well, where could he have disappeared to? Again, on buildings. They are everywhere, are the Fasces. Okay, coat of arms, justice. Oh, we're going to look into this along this week as well. Please come back, please sub. The orb and scepter is part of it. Now, everything that I'm going to be presenting is associated with technosmia. And technasmia is the technology of using harmonics in church machines, as you know, but there is other practical applications, people. This technology can save humanity. You can heal. It can heal. Not only that, I can prove to you that it can make trees and fruit huge, and pineapples bigger than people. I got evidence through harmonics, through these machines, but they got turned. They can turn against us. Now, bear with me. So you're familiar with it now. Do you feel familiar with it? Okay. We move on. So they come in different sizes. Whatever could they be? They're bounded by metal, and they're big rods. Now these look like some comets that I presented. They look like a lot of different things, people. Missiles. But what could they be? Okay, there's one there. And the Romans take them into battle. Okay. There's one on a statue looking very much like a Gatling gun barrel, but it's a Fasces, adopted by the fascists, adopted by Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. It's incorporated in the baton, which I feel is part of this. I'll get to it now. So they go into battle, loads of them with on their shoulders. So they don't sort of struggle to carry. Some of these are really big to get to the battlefront to pull out an axe, which doesn't pull out because it's fixed in, and you don't grab a big massive bit and try and clobber someone, because these guys got wicked advanced technology, even that we know of, like blister bolts. Okay, so they go into battle and the places burn. They literally burn after these people have visited them. So here's Mussolini, dictator of Abyssinia, 1937, Ethiopia, in search of the Ark of the Covenant. And you have two Zouave soldiers accompany him and his generals, Voluto Mussolini. Very interesting person. Main interest, I believe, was architecture. And they carry into Fasces, two of them, tubes. So they, what do? So they're just a symbol. Are they? I think this is a giant. He looks absolutely huge, and he's carrying a huge one. Okay, huge Fasces. Everywhere through your history. And here's one of Englishman George with a couple of women, and she's carrying the very important Fasces. And not only that, the trumpet, which is associated with it too, and harp music, angelic harps, angel harps, angels. Now what are they? See, to turn up and give advanced technology. Now every time you see the eagle, now this symbol, this Fasces, is on the American dollar, is on everything. It's under the eagle, and he's carrying a bunch of arrows, all splaying out. Okay, one stick, weak, loads together, strong. No, it's the Fasces. It's an analogy for what this thing actually does. Look at that. Rainbow sweeps across the lower quadrant of the dome of the sky. Excellent. So, this thing is attributed to bringing health and well-being. The NHS, a couple of the government British fuckers use it. Hate them. So, this is a procession. Processions we're going to look into along these chapters. Chapter 3, I think, the last one, which is going to get crazy. It ties everything in with the modern day, what's happening with the weather, what's happening with all of it, fires, the lot. It'll all fall into place. So what is it? It's a load of copper or brass tubes. Okay, I've got a better, closer image, and you can look down it shortly. Okay, so it's made of metal. Okay, so there it is. So an analogy is you've got a pillar and you've got snakes wrapped around it. You'll see this all over antiquity. It's not just Rome, it's the Etruscans and and I'm finding it all over Bible. So the architecture of the Bible, First Testament era, as in Noah, as in Abraham, all of them, is exactly the same architecture of the Romans. So what, in that 4,000 year jump, nothing changed. This whole time is recent, and I'm going to show you. We're in a narrower window. So there you are, Latin Fasces. There's a bundle Wood rods, sometimes including an axe and emerging blade. So why would an entire regiment take a load of wooden stacks with an axe in the middle? You can't hit anyone with that, and it's not a quiver. So that is the official bullshit narrative. But we find they made the metal. Okay. Now the First World War we're going to go to. Alright, 1916. Air raids over Paris. Zeppelin raids. The last raid of Zeppelins at night, 29th, 30th of January 1916. Since the beginning of the conflict, German aviation throw bombs on Paris. Electrical fasces and bright rockets were used to defend the capital from aerial attacks. So what are they exactly saying here, people? Electrical fasces. They're using fasces, electrical pulses. Fasces is phases. They're phases. In fact, they could be through what we're going to look into scientifically in a minute. So they're not a cannon, and they're not made of sticks. That I can show you. Okay, they're made of metal. Okay, so they fire metal balls, projectiles. No. So what else? Sound waves. Show you that now. Or maybe even an electrical beam. Apparently so in the First World War. Electrical fasces are being used. Or some electromagnetic pulse, EMP field. Okay, or a light beam, or a concentrated infrared beam is what these can do. So what exactly, if you fire that at people, can it do? Well, this is in reality. I will show you now. So there it is. It came up there. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Electrical fasces are being used to shoot down Zeppelins in World War One. Also in World War One, another strange thing you may never have known about was acoustic weaponry. These things were along the front line. Now they're not to play Wish Me Luck as You Wave Me Goodbye. They're not to play It's a Long Way to Tipperfucking. These are to play harmonic resonance. What they found happened is it's hard to directionalize, and it was making their own people poop their pants. Okay, etc. Okay, but the effects are insanity, dizziness, passing out, internal organs failing, but amped up. Everything changes. Now, so they blast these over the trench line in the First World War. Does the Kaiser. Okay, does the Kaiser. Result is mud. Mud. Inglorious mud of the First World War defines the First World War more than anything else, is mud. Thousands drowned in shell holes. Vibration made, as well as I believe seeding, made this rain, because when the records, the weather was worse than it ever had been, and it rained persistently. The Somme and Passchendaele were washed out, and I'm talking mud. They had to invent stuff to get it out. Mud shock, trench foot, all synonymous with the First World War. Yet the Boche, the enemy, apparently is blasting sound waves over the trenches of the First World War, which is defined mostly by mud. Now, nothing can go through, nothing can pass, the men can't fight, the shells just land in the mud and just get muddied out and don't do too much damage. The animals sink and you can't move any stores. Okay, everything runs to a standstill. It is one sweet weapon. Okay, and that's in reality. In the First World War, so they're using electrical phases, or fasces, electrical fasces are being used in the First World War. The Roman fasces, people, is an energy weapon. Its applications we're looking into further along are mind-blowing, and a reality, because it's all tied in with technasma. If you go to my previous video, you will see a Victor, massive thanks to Victor, who's linked you up with endless amounts. He's emptied the Zurich library in my comments, people. Everything you want to know about the Jesuits and the Vatican, all the things they get up to with their coding is all in this. Okay, they know about this place, people. They know at the top. They know what it is exactly. And books about technasmia, and it is 100%. What I can make out of it is that each survivor race comes in and finds this technology and tries to reverse engineer it. I think that's what's going on with technasmia, because in a lot of these books they're running experiments and they're mind-blowing in themselves, but you know it's going to lead them more. It's incredible. It's World War II, sound gun was used. So in World War One, World War II, Nazi sound weapon, the Schalkanon sound gun. Okay, huge speakers. Schalkanon is also called the sound gun. This weapon was little mentioned anywhere, obviously, because none of us know until now. The idea was to produce high frequency waves that would burst eardrums of enemy soldiers. Charming. It was also called a pressure wave anti-personnel device, or a sound acoustic cannon. The Fasces is a sound acoustic cannon, people. It is, I showed you. Men of Hitler's war machine were studying different ways of killing man. And one way to harm a person is strong influence of low frequency sound, infrasound. 5G people's coming, infrasound. The first experiments were carried out on, of course, prisoners. Nice. Under the infrasound, they panicked, felt dizziness, pain in internal organs, and had diarrhea. This effect the Nazis tried to translate into an acoustic gun, and the infrasound stubbornly refused to extend its beam given direction. It seems to be a bit of a topic, is directionalization of a beam, of this science. Okay, but I think the Romans added on to a T, or the Asian culture that had these. Okay, they're attributed to pre-Roman. They say the Etruscans had them before them, so they can be horizontal, projected outwards. This thing is all held like that, but it's giant, so it's like that. So it's not a bazooka. It's not firing a spear. There's no sort of mechanism to project that thing, so it can be projected horizontally, and they're quite big, as I said. Some of them are different sizes, okay, and they're all over antiquity. I believe this is what's going on. I believe that the coil around the outside, if you've got an extension cable, people, they always tell you to pull it all out before you plug it in, because if it's all coiled up, it will produce a magnetic field, a charge, and it can be troublesome. So I believe this is exactly what is going on with with the Fasces. Okay, it's science. Now we're going to go more into it, because it's connected with war and Star Thoughts. We're going to go through the ages. Okay, we're going to go through the ages. Cables, people, cables. Undersea cables and normal communication cables. They could be your coaxial in your room, in your house. So they are one central core, often copper or maybe aluminium, or in this case looks like a bit of stainless steel. Okay, and you get other wires all the way around them. Okay, all tight and bundled, and in this case spun to hold it tight. I know. And more. What else do they look like, people? Penny drop in. It's all tied in with technasmia, people. I got books to prove this is so. They're using this technology in the past to cause events. And they're using it now. As you know, Alrad or whatever, you can, they played it outside my kid's chip shop when he was in high school, right? And you go down, he's like, I gotta get out of this sound. What sound? I can't hear it, I think he can. But then he can remember when he grew up that he couldn't hear it anymore. So it's frequencies for different ages. They got it down to a real T. Church windows are more than just cymatic patterns. They actually completely match the central core of a cable, which passes a electrical field. And what comes under the cymatic windows of the churches? The technosmia devices, the organs. The organs are what? They're bundles of pipes all put together. You see how this is fitting, people? I got so many of these, it's just unbelievable. So they're bundles, the same as the Fasces. You've got a cymatic window which looks exactly like a cable, and it looks exactly like a church window, and it looks exactly like the Fasces, which is taking out cities and Romans take into battle with them, release them like dust. I will show you. Pain without injury, this is today. Banned weapons. The active denial system deters attackers by sending a non-lethal millimeter wave of electromagnetic energy, causing a burning sensation. Wave penetrates the skin to 1/64 of an inch, causing a feeling similar of being on fire. Being on fire. But at the end of this, your brains will be dust. Antenna focuses the invisible energy. So this is where this is the key, is to be able to concentrate that beam in one place. So a Roman fasces, or where the fascists are named after, the Roman fasces, is in fact a phaser or an energy weapon of the Roman period, is what I believe. Now, they use microwave energy to fuck people. They do it, people. We had, in Britain, back in the 80s, we had a load of women camping at Greenham Common in England, and they were banned the bomb. They were against the cruise missiles the Americans were keeping there, apparently. So daily, the Americans would bombard these women with radiations. They were mothers, they had kids there, and one by one they all fell with terrible illnesses and leukemias and the like. It's a fucking crime. No, so they used that to great effect. Now I'm going to show you some images to get you familiar with the narrative of the Fasces before we move on to the end, where I'm going to present some lead atlases and we'll show you these sort of in action. Okay, and that will keep us like to a reasonable time limit. So it's been about this for a while for me, people. What is this night? Is something bugging me about him? Now this is actually Napoleon's standard, and as you can see, the drum, which we know can cause earthquakes by being, it's not just the tapping, and it's not just the volume, it's getting it on a oscillating frequency. Cause earthquakes, like Tesla's earthquake machine. Okay, and he has a very big Fasces, and he's holding it, and they're on them all. Okay, they're on them all, and the baton. Now what you find with the baton is field marshals hold it, and Roman emperors hold this, and when they're all going to battle, it's almost as if they got a button. Honestly, does that not look like a gadget? That's often a Roman coin, which I say is the last millennium just gone. They're not the Romans, that's a name attributed to that part. Rome was Constantinople, Moscow, or Rome itself, or even Paris if you like. Rome was not Rome. Rome was that civilization just gone. Because Etruscans preceded Rome, had all the same stuff as Rome. Greeks got the same stuff as Rome. Catholics got the same stuff as Rome. So it's not Rome, it's that civilization we can recognise. Brutus going out with the battle with the Fasces over his shoulder. So it's about this. This is, to me, the whole thing is like god weapons. Now, this is in Jericho, but what you're going to notice, which seems to be all about, is this box, or these boxes, processional boxes. They take with them, they're everywhere, and I'm going to show you along this road this week. Okay, they're everywhere, and they blow trumpets, and they hit a specific frequency, and it brings down the walls. Okay, it brings down the walls. I'm afraid I'm not too sure, but it showed a chemtrail. If I show you, or some sort of geoengineering, I believe. Okay, and an angel sort of doing it, and somebody else falling down to the ground. Now, and it's obviously a technical device with an aerial. Now, a flat Earth and the cover up of, brainwashing everyone to think they're on a ball was a big part of it. It's been initiated in the last few hundred years as all by the Jesuits. These people who encode this shit, they're evil. I can stand it, I can feel it. And the age of Caesars. Remember, Kaisers are Caesars. Okay. This is the same technology in the modern day. Sound directed weapons on a modern bas relief in Russia. Again, these horns are creating obviously a sound, but on all depictions, even in my illustrated Bible in the room, they show this box being carried around the ark, or an ark, with a device, and it's there in the Middle Ages, it's there in biblical times, it's carried, there it is there, with all of these people blowing horns, making music, and making sound. You'll get the laying down horizontally, okay, the fasces, and these as well, with the pine cones on top, all over Mesopotamian bas reliefs as well. So it's Babel times as well. They got the same tech, okay, which I have found everywhere. So there's them horns in the First World War producing all that. What do you think of that, guys? That's your mud for you. Side of political buildings everywhere, and they got scales with them, so they're attributed to bringing justice. So that their justice, obviously. So for the fascists, there, and they're all over coins, all over everything in antiquity. Italy, fasces. There's Irvin Rommel. I mean, he's got his baton. All field marshals are given this specific baton. They're beautiful. Look them up. They are mind-blowingly beautiful. But what are they? You see what I mean? This is a quiver here with arrows. This is not a quiver. And this one hasn't got an axe. It's just got like a handle. I know. And they're all. And now you'll see them. You'll see the empty knight. And behind him, the energy weapons in packs. And the empty Roman gear, because he's not there anymore. What's happened to him? So there's Smacked Choppy Chops, and with his girding, with his field marshal's baton. So as you can see, it's everywhere. The Post Office Court, United States. So it's Abraham, the eagle, the control, the centralized control, Italy. The whole game is it. It's there with it all. You're going to see it everywhere now, people. And this one, it most certainly looks like a device on side of a Roman coin. Okay, these images are a bit smaller. The knight again, batons. An angel has to deliver it, apparently. Okay, so on coats of arms again, double fasces, laurel leaves of control, and the empty knight's gear. Mussolini taking in fasces. Some American with a baton, and the electrical fasces. And look at this, the flying person is bringing it in. It's not just a symbol, people, it's obviously a weapon, isn't it? It's even linked with the American Civil War. I found some sort of weapon at the front. It looked like a Civil War weapon. And that's what they look like inside. So, just like a big fat electric cable, isn't it? But we go deeper next episode, and we will show you how all of this works. Okay, these are electrical devices on Roman coins. Look at this depiction, it's beautiful. So you have Julius Caesar, he's got his laurel leaf on his head, and they're subversing some sort of Goths, I think, or maybe the Visigoths or whoever. Anyway, they're giving some people assimilate to the Roman collective because they're a bunch of fascists. Okay, although these look like they might be maybe Tartarian or something. Okay, because of the could be nice stuff they got anyway. But what you will always get is Eagles of Control, the standard, big deal, and just behind him with his main guys, because he's like Roman god. Okay, is Julius and Brutus and all of his gang who are going to end up fucking him, having him anyway, because he's spoiled little nutcase. It's the Fasces, and you're going to see it everywhere now. It is important, and it's not just important because it's a boring, bloody thing that they take into battle with, and that just makes no fucking sense, people. Okay, I've got plenty of depictions of it being used in battle anyway, so they got portable versions they put over their back. Here's someone chopping heads off and bringing them up to a cackless. Got really tight strides on, but he got this, and it's not a quiver, it's got block end, so I think they got portable versions of these as well. It's really cool. Okay, we move on. Now everything that you see in this video will be put in the descriptions box. So what it brings about is this, I'm afraid, people. Okay, this is Sodom and Gomorrah. Now it don't take a genius to work this out that we are on the Devil's Playground. All is offered to us. Whether you take it or not is up to you. But I think the end result of everyone treating this place like shit, not respecting one another, not loving one another, not caring for one another, which is not their fault because they've been programmed and social engineered to this selfish way of life. Thankfully the flat earthers are not like that. And this is what you get as a result. Okay, electrical discharge and giant chunks of stone coming out of the sky, and thunderbolts, electrical arcing and thunderbolts is what you get. Okay, you also get plagues. These are the biblical plagues of pestilence. Now, comets going over can cause mental illness, hallucinations have been known, where people get very confused about what's going on. So what causes everything to go black, like a nuclear winter type thing, is volcanic action blacking out the sky. It's said to be the Santorini event, which apparently, according to the John Struce book, is up and running in the 1700s. So they're getting their stuff together because they know the time is over and time is coming to a sticky end, because it's about to be reset, because they work this shit out. Okay, so a couple of you thought then, oh, is that what it means? If we work this shit out, they'll reset it. Well, life's not what you think anyway. Okay, what's going on is definitely 100% supernatural by nature. The reason all this stuff comes to me is because I believe the Creator wants me to find it. I can't get over why I get this stuff. Why this happens is just mind-blowing to my head. But the Fasces, emblem for fascism, is a sound energy weapon, people. So they have processions. We're going to look into a little bit on the next vlog a bit, and we're also going to look into other potentials which are pretty much definite. The orb and scepter of the crown jewels, people. So they are processions where they have great reverence to strange deities, empty boxes seemingly. I don't know if we got any fasces. Yes, we have. We got a regiment, and they got them over their shoulder, ready to line up on the front line and give a nice either electromagnetic burst or a blast of something to just turn the enemy into, who knows, mud. Could cause weather. I think weather is definitely a part of it from what I've found. So there he is again. And he's in, guess what? He's in every single lead atlas I possess. He's in every single one. And he's looking over everything, and he's got a Fasces with him. There's another Fasces there with a goat's head hanging out of it. Look. I must have... God. All of my lead atlases are so intercoded, and it seems to be all about this implement. Now I've seen it. Now you've seen it. You'll know exactly what I mean. You will. Because it's like what else we discover about the architecture. And now with Technasm, everything's changed, hasn't it? We know what this stuff's doing now. Oh God. There's no escaping him. It's like I'm being fucking haunted by him. And this is a device. And these are apparently trophies of the Romans. And I believe them all, every one of them, to be devices. These three things here, which you'll see all over Rome, are devices to my mind, people. Definitely, 100%. So let's see what else is in this. The events. So this is what these weapons will reduce it to. Plenty of depictions to show these people walking away from battle. They don't make flames and buildings blowing up with a tube of pipes with an axe hanging out of it. That makes no fucking sense, people. Yeah, they collect electrical gadgetry from the Empire. All of it is Antiquitech. We now know, without a shadow of a doubt. I have hundreds of books now proving that Technasm is a real fucking thing, people. So we now know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they are devices. And causing this. Undulating mud. To roll like the sea. Now, if you pull up on your computer cymatic experiments, and you'll see a wavelength put through a plate, and on top of the plate is sand, dust, metal, filings, or what have you. Sand works well, and what will happen is the landscape turns to this. It bubbles, it pits, and it looks like pits and valleys, is what happens on the cymatic experiment. Okay, so as you can see, the events have 100% certainly happened. Mud floods are on that. And more Antiquitech. All of it is now I know. Now I know. I'm the orb as well, and I know why all these symbols have so much reverence. I know what's going on. We now know what's going on. These are devices. This here looks like an advertising placard that I've always said is part of Antiquitech and energy gathering. These. Getting it? I knew you would, guys. It's going to get deeper anyway. We've got plenty to tell you and plenty to show you and share with you, okay? And we've seen that being dug out recently on Mick, epic video Mick yesterday, by the way. Please sub, I'll put him in the descriptions box along with Flat Earth British sub, Lee. Rebel Without a Pause, which is our man Mick. Okay, so that's another one of those meals where they all kill one another, and as you do, nail up the entire population. Okay, so it all always turns to shit. People, when they know the end's coming, they don't have to get fucking iffy on one another, I've noticed. So, apparently the Colosseum was pumped with water. Thousands of tons of water, and they had full-on naval battles. So their full-size galleys, how many litres of water would have to be pumped into it? How are they pumping millions of tons or thousands of tons of water into the amphitheatre? How are they doing it? It's beyond me. I've been in there, and it's just, can't get my head around it. But they got this sort of technology anyway, haven't they? And you'll see this now. You'll see these things as well, which look like, which I thought before were some sort of television camera. Not on there, but I think they're definitely part of Technisma now as well, as is all architecture. These pillars, the pillars are part of it. All of it is coming together. All will be explained this week. There are loads we don't know, obviously, people, because this is just a age of discovery right here on Flat Earth British. Of decoding this shit. Well, they don't tell us what they know about this place, which we do know. Again, okay. The night, the pipes. Okay, it's very, very transparent once you know, and even these obelisks or these pillars, like columns with the intertwining wire, what looks like wire going all the way around, is exactly like a cable. I think them things well, they are Technisma devices, as is that. All Technisma devices, as is the church machine with the holes in the dome to let out the augmented high frequency music. It could be used for us, for the benefit, you see, and I've seen this in practice in some of these leads. I don't know if I got one up. Jesuits and the Vatican are responsible for most of these, so it's all evil, encoded for the masses that don't know what they say, what they mean. Another device. And other devices like this on the Tiber, the San Marco Starfort system. So you got the old remnants in the river, and on top you have giant aerials with what look like ceramic superconductors all the way up with wires. Okay, 1733, high technology, and he's pouring out the water. Water is part of it. Even got the Starfort there, look, on the coin, Starfort of that, and the aerial is on it. Wow! And look at that place. Gone, smashed, vents, with a raised garden. Do you know why? Because it's probably the only place you can fucking have one when your events are happening. How many raised gardens in antiquity? The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, for example. Why? So when things turn to a quagmire down below, and you can't plant anything, everything goes to shit, everything's buried, all the buildings got to be dug out again, yeah? Over and over again, because they're using weapons to create it. Geoengineering and more, people. More. This science exists, and it's out there. Look at this stuff. We don't know what any of it is. Some of them are oil burners, for sure. These people look like they're actually alive. Look at that one, farting on a flame now. So does he actually do it? Are these actual full size? Are the actual people on these things? Like a bellows. Strange, aren't they? What about the teapot there? I'm a little... He's a happy teapot, isn't he? Okay. Can't be more coded, couldn't they? Once you know, you know. Right, so let's try and work out what's going on here. So there's some dude and a load of women with a brush. Are they brushing his knob? I think so. I think they're brushing his knob. What's going on? They're all playing music at him. And what the women nymphs doing on the ground is they're sacrificing a cow and they're pouring the blood out. Don't know. Strange customs because they're all demonic, obviously. But what the fuck is all these cryptoids doing and these strange creatures? How can they exist? This reality is not our reality. More, what to me is Technisma. It's water. It's a lagoon. And what they're doing is that they're pumping up the water to a pumping station up here. Here's the pumping station. There's a couple of people, and it comes back down into this steel, wooden, or whatever tub. Okay, but this here seems to have a copper cable or a cable going around its chimney. Can't be anything other than a device. So I know it's only a shed, but yes, all you need is a plant. At a plant, What about them? What about them? So that's a plant, just up and running after the event, so they've tapped into what was there before, I would think. It's what keeps happening over and over again, you know. So it seems to be all about comets, comet controllers. So are the elites or are the Kaisers from another place or pond, which are devoid of life, devoid of death, I mean, outside of time? And do they visit this realm and interfere, bring in advanced technologies, etc., as what the leader of the Mormons would say? Or every civilization seems to have had a visit from an angel at some stage. There he is again. Everyone's had a visitation, all these Asian cultures, and they all seem to be given some technology, some disc, like a CD. It's a disc of knowledge. But there is some sort of clues that electric might be something to do with the angelic realm. And what is electric exactly, people? Can you define it? Don't turn it into photons of light or anything. I mean electric itself, outside of their words. Could you define it? It's energy, it's bright, it's white, it's pure. It's why they thought it was God in the 1700s. Okay. So, plasma discharge events are real. And this is, the behaviour of a thunderbolt is not what you think at all. This is a news feed from our team. It was up there a little while ago, and it's a thunderbolt going for a walk. Ooh, come on. So I glitched. There you are. I repeat, a thunderbolt strolling across a field, seemingly conscious, seemingly. It's huge. It's energy. It's traveling. It's not falling. It's not coming in a kinetic energy. It's traveling across a field. Goes through trees in a minute. Doesn't harm them. Pulses. It's electric. It's electric. Now, that can be harnessed. And comets. They're plasma creatures, I believe. I think they may get fired, but they plasma. They cause plasma discharge events, and that is ball plasma, electric. And it is anything touch it would kill. So imagine that, a big one of them rolling through a battlefield or a city, the devastation that it would produce. Goes through trees. No, it's just crazy, isn't it? A thunderbolt. Now I mention them quite a bit because I sounds daft, but I believe they could be maybe conscious. Two secs, please, and just another Gallagher I wanted to really show you before I went off. Showed you the whole point, but I am rounding down. I'm going to give you a summarization, and I'm going to come back for part 2, if you would. It's going to get brilliant. The next one, and we'll find out the practical applications of such technologies further, deeper, with Technasmia. No, it's the same one again, isn't it? I've got further depictions actually of the end of days, which will show you horrendous mud floods. Is it in this one? No, I'm afraid not. Okay, that's me for the day. I will link everything up in the box. Hope that wasn't too long a video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it made sense. Okay, I won't be able to do it again. So, part one, a great story never told by Liedtke and Associated, is the Roman, or so-called Roman, Fasces, which, from what looks like, from all of our investigations, and this is what we do here in detective work, seems to be an energy weapon, a sound weapon, or according to the First World War, an electrical fasces were being used, so electrical weapon. Romans, previous set. Okay, take cities out. Gives a whole new meaning to Nero fiddled while Rome burned. What kind of fiddle was that? Think about it. Think about the Field Marshal's baton. Guys, we will go deeper, and I hope you enjoyed that. Crazy, isn't it? I know. So yeah, obviously a lot of decoding left to do, and there's a lot. This is just opening up a new field of technasmia. Okay, give us all something fresh to think about, more information. Okay, we're going to go deeper next episode, but what I want to do, people, is just try and get them into 2, and then I'll do a nice little summarization, maybe live, I don't know, and then I want to get back into the run of things. Flat Earth British got a lot to bring out. Okay, but this will be a whole new thing. Did you enjoy? It's alright. Okay. Chapter 2 coming up soon, so enjoy. Oh yeah, mountainleague7@gmail.com. Thank you everybody who support my channel. Please continue to support. I'm very, very grateful, and it does help me to do all the work, which is, I'm sure you can appreciate a hell of a lot. Not alone. I've got one big thank you to see Alex Automagic in the comments. Get in under the comments, give him big loves, and a guy called Victor who keeps linking me up with like extensive libraries. Eric as well. Thank you everyone. Donald for my postcards from America land. Thank you. Thank you all. God bless. That's me done. Chapter 2's coming up. Okay, leave your brains in dust by 3. Dust.